for power, for justice, or even for peace. Truth is, these are just fancy words, not worth dying for. Me, I'm just grateful I can still fight and breathe. But I've seen many of you out there who are not that lucky. So if you think you don't have a say in all this mess, if you're in too much pain to carry on, or if I've failed you before, let me tell you this. I've come back to make things right. I will stand and I will fight for you.
Okay, guys, it happened. It's released, and now we know. So, it's Holden. The new hero is Holden Cross. Now, the funny thing is, when I did my initial response to the leaked images, I kind of guessed it was Holden. I said he looks a lot like Holden, and I can see that being the case. And yeah, it's Holden Cross. It's Holden Cross, guys. It's been revealed now. And first of all, let me just say, I'm not at all disappointed. In fact, just looking at this trailer, I am very impressed. I am very excited. You know, I wasn't quite sure what they were going to do with it. I just thought that it was going to be, gosh, we're now going to create a whole new faction. But one thing that I like in this trailer, one thing that I really like is when he says that, at the very beginning, when he says some people say that they fight for power or for peace or for whatever, and he goes, these are just pretty words. He's just glad to be fighting. And you know, I kind of like that more than if he just said, I'm here to fight for peace. I'm here to join the resistance. I'm here to... No, he doesn't say that. He says, I'm here to fight to undo the wrongs I've done, to fix things. You know, if you are too weak to go on, if you've been hurt, if I wasn't good enough before, know that I'm here to make things right. And you know what? That, to me, is so much better than if you just showed up to say, I'm here to fight for peace and justice. Like, no, he's here saying, I'm here to right my own wrongs. I'm here to fix things that went wrong in the past that I was part of. In a way, maybe he sees what Astria and the warmongers are doing as partially his fault. I mean, think about it. He was originally a leader of the Blackstone Legion. His leader was Apollyon. He did everything Apollyon told him to do for the longest time, and only near the end, when Apollyon had practically ruined Heathmore, then he came to his senses and fought back. Then he betrayed the Blackstone Legions and became Iron Legion again. Then he did what the Warden told him to do. But by that point, Apollyon had already done everything she set out to do. She'd already caused the damage she wanted. So at that point, Holden Cross, you know, he's kind of thinking, man, it was too little too late. We may have killed her, but she got what she wanted in the end. So all this struggle, all this crap, partially my doing. And then it gets worse when Astria comes along, this woman who is intent on carrying on Apollyon's work, this woman who wants to carry on the legacy of Apollyon, and he probably sees this and goes, it's just like back then. It's just like what we dealt with before. And a lot of this could be my fault. If I just stopped, if I'd done something, if I'd been wiser, if I'd not been so blind with hate. Think about it, because he did hate. He called the Vikings savages. He wanted to wipe them out. He couldn't believe that Apollyon was willing to spare any just because of how tough they were. He had so little regard for these other peoples and other cultures. And he acknowledges that, but then his life was spared by them, and he was shown a new way of thinking. He's been shown a new way of looking at himself, looking inward. He's now opened his eyes some, and now he says, you know what? This is more than just fighting for justice. This is about doing the right thing, and I'm going to take a stand. It reminds me of, I was rewatching one of my favorite animes, One Piece, and, when Luffy and his crew, the main characters, get to the Fishman Island, there's a lot of prejudice between fishmen and humans, and one thing that the fishmen constantly ask Luffy is, are you here to save us? Are you a hero? Are you a good person? Or are you a villain? Are you here to destroy us? Are you a bad person? And Luffy never gives them an answer. He straight up says, you figure that out for yourselves. As for me and what I'm going to do what I think is right. you know? And that's what it comes down to, I think, for Holden here. You can decide for yourself how you want to judge me, you know? Like, if you can't get over the fact that I was with the Blackstone Legion, okay. If you can't get over the fact that I was a knight once, okay. If you can't get over the fact that, if you can't get over these issues that we have, that's your business. But I'm going to do what I feel is right. I'm going to stand up for what I think is the just cause. I'm going to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. I'm going to, in his own way, turn himself around. As for his design, I've seen a lot of the images, the leaked images of his armor and loadout. God, I like it. I really do like it. They did a good job of kind of mixing and meshing different Asian and Scandinavian and Crusader Knight style looks. I still argue that he should have been modeled or based on the Varangian, and who knows, maybe that's where they got the inspiration. Maybe when the developers were designing his new look, they said, let's make him a Varangian. And I really do think that would have been a lot better. I feel like he would have been a really cool Varangian guard. His weapon, the Bardiche. Actually, this is funny. Someone in a comment tried to tell me it's not, a Bardiche isn't a polearm. Look it up. That's exactly what it is. And based on the other trailer, the new season trailer, where we see how he fights with it, I'm actually kind of impressed because, you know, I kind of expected, how is he going to fight with the Bardiche any differently than the way Jiang Jun loses the Guandao or the way a Lawbringer would use their poleaxe. But honestly, it looks unique enough. And based on what I've seen of his loadout, his feat abilities, it looks like he's the opposite of Astria and the Warmongers, whereas the Warmonger's main job is to be a solo fighter, to break up groups and to do massive damage to the enemy as they work together. His job is to buff his enemy and support them. And again, that kind of goes into this idea of redemption. I'm going to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. I'm going to be a paragon, a paladin, if you will. I'm going to be someone who people can look up to. So I'm actually really excited to see what we do here. I like Holden's new look. I like Holden's new motif. Do I have any problems with it? Man, I think my one problem right now is give Astria some credit. Even though she was the named Warmonger, we established that the Warmongers were their own group, their own organization, their own Knight Order, or whatever you want to call it. Whereas with Holden, they call them the Griffin Hero. Is Griffin a new Knight Order? What are the Griffins? Or are they just a new organization? Because it looks to me like this Griffin Order might be the opposite of the Order of Horkos, and let me explain what I mean by that. The Order of Horkos is a collection of warriors from all the factions, and this Griffin thing, based on the two trailers we've seen, show warriors from all the factions. We don't see a lot of different looks for the different Griffin heroes, you know, so I'm kind of wondering, where does that fit in? Because Holden says himself in his video that he was just once a foolish knight. Does that mean he's no longer a knight? Did he give that up? Is he now something different? And if he wants to be a hybrid of all the different factions, okay, that's fine. We can go with that. I don't mind him being a hybrid of all the factions. But then what does that mean he is? Because everyone's been talking about, is he a new knight hero, a new Viking hero, a new samurai hero, a new and I'm kind of like, okay, but he's saying that he's not even a knight. Like, he kind of sees himself as a hybrid. That's cool, but unless you change up the way the factions are set up, it's going to be kind of hard to see that. Plus, considering a Bardiche is definitely a more Western weapon. I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do with that, but I have no bad feelings about any of this. I am very, very pleased with what I saw. I can't wait for the 10th when he is dropped. I can't wait to give him a try and start grinding with him. It's going to be so much fun. I think the weapon looks cool. I think the character looks cool. I'm interested to see what new designs and executions come out. All of this looks really, really cool. So absolutely no problems. I am very, very pumped to see what comes out. I hope y'all are too. I just wanted to make this video real quick to tell y'all my thoughts. All right, guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care.